I'm a home inspector with over 600 GB of files, maybe many months worth of similar size. What are my options for storage?
Morning, good morning. I got asked this question on YouTube the other day after posting a video about decentralized storage. And it was kind of a unique question because it was a home inspector who's got tons of like scanned files, or I presume like schematics and a variety of different things to do with homes. As a home inspector, I can imagine there's just lots of documentation for different areas of the house. But it was the sheer scale of the amount of storage that he needed. Like, I think he said at a baseline of about 600 gigabytes. So just under the terabyte, but he had many months of that. So I don't know how much he's actually saying, but I'm gonna roughly go around the fact that maybe in 6 months he does, let's say, 4 or 5 terabytes of files. So in that instance, I don't know. I mean, although the decentralized platforms can handle it, I don't know if they're the right thing for his use case, because it sounds to me that it's not something he's going to be using very often. It sounds like something that he wants to upload and then maybe retrieve every so often, or maybe not even, maybe never again. He just needs to have a copy of it just in case somebody asks him for it, and it's getting expensive for him to do that either locally or with his current provider. So I can see them wanting to be a cost saving, or like, what else is out there on the market? Can I get it cheaper? Is there anything else to look at? So, I mean, obviously my favorite at the moment for decentralized storage, they've had a big makeover and they're doing a real big push to get people developing on SIA, is Skynet. So not only can you individually send up files, you can also do want to upload a web app or a directory. So you can drop a folder with a HTML file to deploy to Skynet, but also you can upload, I presume, a folder of files. So maybe you just want to drag and drop. Now, the only issue with that, I would say, is that I'm on the Skynet Plus account, and although I've got this free for a year, it's $5 a month for a terabyte. So he would probably need like 5 of those. So maybe you can squeeze it in at $20 a month for that, if you know that you've got a guaranteed encrypted decentralized copy of your files up on Skynet, and you've got this kind of like downloads, uploads, nice manager through SIA Sky. Then £20 a month is kind of a small amount to pay. What we're talking, like $240 a month, $240 a year. If you're a home inspector, you're probably making good money. That's not a lot of money in he didn't say if it was in the UK or where it was, but it's not a lot of money to be able to have it off-site in the cloud, instead of having it on locally attached hardware. Obviously, 4 terabytes, you could probably get a drive, I would say. Well, maybe not now that Chia's launched, because everybody's buying hard drives to do plots on for the blockchain, but I think that's a pretty reasonable price. But I still don't think it really fits your use case. But maybe SIA is one to look at and have a play around with. Maybe just get the month, try it for a month, and just upload everything and see how long it takes, and see if it's something that is useful for your case. Another one I looked at is Storger, which I know you mentioned that you got Storger coins. The only thing I couldn't find about Storger is that you have to submit a request if you want more than 50 gigabytes. So I think Storger is probably more orientated towards decentralized web apps rather than storage as a big storage medium. That's not to say that the costs aren't reasonable on Storger. How do we say Storger? Are we saying Storger? It's got a J on the end of it. So yeah, I'm not really sure if this is really fit for your purpose. Then there's something like Filebase. They're probably overpriced for what you want. Again, it's more of a, if you're already on Amazon S3, then moving across to a cheaper storage medium from one that you've already got on Amazon is probably the way to go with Filebase. Great things about Filebase is you can plug in something like ARQ, which you can back up all your Mac to your Filebase storage if you pay, depending on what size machine you've got. I mean, if you've got like I've got, which is a laptop, I think this has only got a half a terabyte in there. So for $6 a month, I can back up my machine to the cloud using this piece of software. I'm not sure how much this is, probably about 50, 60 bucks, but a great piece of software, and has got direct support for Filebase, which is kind of nice. Again, I think Filebase is more about if you've got like a WordPress blog and you've got S3 storage for your like CDN for your pictures, then moving it across to Filebase to have it decentralized away from centralized solutions is probably the key. Two great tools I should mention for that, actually, if you're going to go down this road of moving serious amounts of content onto the web. Heartily recommend Cyberduck. It's got support for FTP, SFTP, all of these. And two particular favorites that I really like is the Amazon S3, which again uses the same kind of structure in Filebase, and then Backblaze B2, which I'm going to get onto in a minute because it's another one to look at. And also their Mountain Duck is great, which is kind of like Cyberduck, but it just, if you're a bit of a newbie or you have friends and family who are used to files and folders but not interested in learning about FTP, Mountain Duck is probably better because it mounts the remote FTP or remote location as a folder in Finder, which, you know, easy to drag and drop something. They don't have to realize that's been uploaded to the cloud. It looks local, but it's actually remote, which also makes it really easy to work with because you can set one of these up on a remote server and you could have a folder with things that you can just share with your partner if you're working, collaborating on something. Maybe run a TeamSpeak or a Discord server to be able to listen to, you know, hear each other while you're working on stuff and sharing files back and forth via the web. Really easy way of doing it. So the first place that I went to do a price comparison is Backblaze. Backblaze is a great service as well if you've never heard of these guys. I think they've got like a $5, $10 plan. And if you look at the pricing structure compared to the S3, Azure, Google Cloud, the kind of three big ones, you can see that B2 is a hell of a lot cheaper. If you were looking at, you know, we're looking at a gig per month here, like from a storage perspective, I think that's like $5 for a terabyte. So it's in line with the other ones. But again, this is kind of like a centralized solution, not a decentralized solution like Skynet. But for your use case of like 600 gig of files, which is, I think you're not going to access them very often, I would actually look at a centralized solution like Amazon still. We don't have a deep storage solution as far as I know. If anybody can correct me and update me on that, that'd be great. But Amazon S3 have a great deep freeze kind of container called Glacier, and it's reasonably cheap. You can store as little as $1 per terabyte per month, a significant saving compared to on-premise solutions. And they have, to keep costs low yet suitable for varying retrieval needs, Amazon S3 Glacier provides three options for access, from a few minutes to several hours, and S3 Glacier Deep Archive provides a two-access options ranging from 12 to 48 hours. So this last one, the Deep Archive, from 12 to 48 hours, is probably going to be your best bet because you're putting serious amounts of data out there that from home inspections, you're probably not pulling them back daily or weekly, maybe monthly or maybe even yearly. So I would take a look at Amazon S3 Glacier and their Glacier Deep Archive. I still think that's probably one of the cheapest options, ways to go, all backed by Amazon AWS, which, you know, probably one of the strongest networks, cloud networks out there, alongside something like Google Cloud. And yeah, that's it. I just thought I'd do you a little video while I was just about to start my meditation break, give you an update, and hopefully you've come back to watch this video. See you later. Cheers. Bye.